Video games are a waste of time, and depending on who you are, you might be inclined to agree with the sentiment, but for me at least, they're not. And today, I'm going to share the 5 life lessons that I have learned from playing video games. One thing you can learn from playing video games is the ability to immerse yourself, living in the moment, focusing on what's directly in front of you and enjoying it to its fullest. A lot of times, we either live in the past or worry about the future. But it's rarely the case where you say to yourself, let my future self deal with the future and my past self deal with the past and let my current self just live in the moment. That's what you're doing subconsciously when you're playing video games. You never say to yourself, I'm playing a video game, so I'll just focus on that and forget everything else. You just do it naturally. I used to be consumed with thinking about the future, thinking that the present moment is just a means to an end, a stepping stone to what's next. And theoretically, I knew about the importance of living in the moment, and I'm sure you do too, but I never truly practiced it. But then, one day, I had a moment of realization that in the same way that I could fully immerse myself in video games, I can probably immerse myself in real life moments and enjoy them just as much. Only after practicing this mindset did I realize how much I was missing out in my real life, my surroundings, my relationships, and my experiences. It's an entirely different experience once you start fully engaging with the present moment. So learn from the past, plan for the future, and make the most out of the present moment. As much as developers try, no game is ever perfect. Even with the best games out there, there's always a bug or a glitch or something that didn't quite work the way it was intended to be. And I know you might have heard this a million times, that perfection is impossible to attain or something like that. That is part of the point, but that's not what I'm talking about here. Rather, what I want you to take away is that we don't stop playing a game just because of that one glitch or that one bug. It's quite the opposite. We try to find a walkaround. We work our way around the problem and keep playing. And that's the thing we can take away from this. You can always find a way around anything you're struggling with in life. Let's say you have a problem with forgetting things, to which I'm guilty of myself. I can remember a cheat code from San Andreas from 15 years ago, but forget what I had for breakfast this morning. Some people just accept it like I used to do, and I used to say to myself, oh, I'm just forgetful. That's just the way I am. Accepting my shortcomings was part of the process, but I failed to realize that in the same way that I was able to find workarounds in video games, I can also find ways to improve my memory or develop methods that work for me. So I started using notes, reminders, and calendar appointments to help me remember things. And although my bug of forgetfulness hasn't completely disappeared, I still managed to work my way around it. The imperfection in video games teaches us to embrace imperfections in ourselves and find ways to work around our limitations, to keep going forward and not let our limitations hold us back. You know how in video games, there's always a limit on your abilities, like having a limited health bar, limited ammo, a limit to how much magic you have, a limit for special attacks, and so on? The same thing applies to real life. As much as we try to do everything and be everywhere at once, and I was guilty of this myself, like in a day, in addition to my job, I want to hit the gym, meditate, cook my own healthy meals, read books, learn a new language, hang out with friends, play video games, watch movies, work on a side project, and still have time to sleep for 8 hours. But realistically, unless I had a glitch that gave me unlimited time and energy, I won't be able to do all of that. And as much as I tried pushing myself, I realized that there is a limit to what I can do. So the only thing we can do is decide what our priorities are, what we can handle realistically, and focus on these things. And for everything else, you can simply let it go. That's what I started doing. For example, I had the goal of reading 1 book a week, and in the beginning, I was successful. But then I realized that it was taking away my sleep, and I wasn't having quality time with my friends and family. This is the moment I realized that I had an energy bar, and just like in video games, I need to use it wisely and allocate it to the things that really matter to me. So instead of reading 1 book a week, I decided to make it 1 book a month and use the remaining energy on on other important things. The key takeaway here is that you don't have infinite resources, so it's important to prioritize and use your energy wisely. I have almost always stuck to the same genre of games: first-person shooters, action-adventure, and racing games. And I've noticed over time that there's this stagnation or feeling of boredom that I'm not having as much fun as I used to have before. And in the beginning, I thought it's just because I grew up. But once I started to deviate and try new games and different genres, playing video games became more exciting and enjoyable again. For some reason, I started applying this same principle to other areas of my life as well. So I started listening to different types of music, reading books outside my usual preferences, and even trying new foods that I would have never considered before. In the same way that you can get bored playing the same games over and over, doing the same routine over and over will inevitably get you bored. Your life will not feel as exciting anymore. It will just feel like you're passing time. There's a saying, when was the last time you did something for the first time? And I want you to really ask yourself this question. When was it? It doesn't have to be something expensive like traveling to a foreign country or maybe skydiving. It could be something as simple as trying out a new restaurant, trying out a new hobby, learning a new skill, or since we are talking about video games, trying a new genre of video games. I'm sure there is a health benefit from trying out new things, but the thing for me was I didn't want to be on my deathbed full of regret that I wasted my life doing the same things over and over again without experiencing new things. So try something new. Your future self will thank you for it. You know those choice-based games where you have to make choices and those choices affect the outcome of the game? A common theme between these games is that even the smallest choices you make can change the ending of the game dramatically. I was playing Detroit Become Human the other day, and at the end of each mission, the game showed me an impressive flowchart that documented all the different choices that I could have made and their consequences. And after realizing that, for some reason, I started doing flowcharts of my own life in my notebook, mapping out the different choices that I could have made and the possible outcomes that could result from them, similar to what was shown in the game. I never got any benefit from doing that. It was just fun to do, but it made me realize that a lot of the time, it was the small choices that made a significant difference in my life, not the big ones. Let's say you're sitting on your gaming chair and you want to get up and exercise. In that moment, the most important choice that you must take is to actually get up, because there's no point in just sitting there choosing what to exercise you will do, how long you will do it for, what gear you will wear, or what gym you will go to if you don't make the initial choice to get up from your chair. If we look at the grand scheme of things, it's these small choices that will add up over time and make the significant impact. So it's important to pay full attention to them. These were the 5 lessons that playing video games taught me about life. I hope that the video was enjoyable to you and found these life lessons insightful and can apply them in your own life as well. Anyway, until next time, Jane, bye bye.